Bitcoin miner SAI.TECH halts Kazakhstan expansion. The NASDAQ-listed company has scrapped plans for a second phase of power supply cooperation in the Central Asian country. Singapore-based Bitcoin miner SAI.TECH, or SAI for short, has terminated the remainder of its plans to expand in Kazakhstan, according to an SEC filing. The scrapped plans involved a second phase of 90 megawatt power supply cooperation in Kazakhstan, which was a part of a 2021 agreement with Better Tech Limited. In May, SAI received concerns from power partners and hosting customers regarding operation stability and cost uncertainties in relation to doing business in Kazakhstan. And as you guys are aware, the government was cracking down on it. They were shutting down everybody that wasn't fully licensed, and they also had a lot of rolling blackouts. So this isn't really unexpected. It probably would be like the country I wouldn't want to be in. Also, remember, they increased their power cost for miners specifically. So in Kazakhstan, you are looking at, if you're a miner and designated as a miner, which you have to be because you have to go through the approval process, or they'll come through and shut you down with their military essentially at this point, you have to pay 5 cents a kilowatt hour. And in a third world country with, basically a bunch of economic strife, power issues, and a whole bunch of other things, that's extremely expensive. You could go to pretty much anywhere else or even find that price in the United States if you're working big deals on the level of 90 megawatts, for example. So Kazakhstan isn't looking like a place that you really want to have a mining operation. So this isn't that surprising. Operations had already been delayed due to the national riots in Kazakhstan that started in January of 2022. A slew of companies moved mining operations to the Kazakhstan following China's decision to ban crypto mining last year, which prompted the landlocked nation in Central Asia to clamp down on illegal crypto mines and increase taxes on the industry. Another note about that, as we've seen, is that China was clearly just using a lot, or people in China that were mining were using a lot of VPNs and other ways, and pretty much 20 to 30% of the hash power came back online in China, and it's not something that they seem to be able to actually regulate, so they can, throw the ban hammer down and tell people no, 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 but you can't stop it. Like I've said before, it's nearly impossible to control 7 billion people and stop them from something that benefits them. And Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, in my humble opinion, in the long run will benefit the individual over the nation states. And it's going to be extremely interesting to see how this all works out moving forward. The Kazakh government also ordered all crypto miners to register with authorities as the country faced electricity shortages. While SAI.TECH's second phase of 90 megawatt power supply has been halted, it will continue to execute the first phase, which began in August of 2021 and has 15 megawatts of capacity. That's not a lot compared to 90. 15 compared to 90 is not that much. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to move to a different location, and that would be like my general question regarding that. So let's talk about Mr. Saylor. Michael Saylor, the laser-eyed Twitter man, savior of cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin Jesus, whatever you want to call him. He has basically been the CEO and one of the founders of MicroStrategy, which is one of the largest investors into Bitcoin. And he is leaving his role and focusing on strategy and Bitcoin. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor is leaving his role as CEO to become executive chairman of the company, according to a statement released by the company on Tuesday afternoon. The company's president, Fong Lee, something like that, will take the reins from Saylor. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor is leaving his role as CEO to become executive chairman of the company, according to a statement released by the company on Tuesday afternoon. The company's president will take the reins from Saylor. Saylor has been in the role of chief executive officer since launching the company in 1989. MicroStrategy went public in 1998. MicroStrategy stock is down 48% this year. Bitcoin is down 51% or over 51% during that same time period. Quote, I believe that splitting the roles of chairman and CEO will enable us to better pursue our two corporate strategies of acquiring and holding Bitcoin and growing our enterprise analytics software business. As executive chairman, I will be able to focus more on our Bitcoin acquisition strategy and related Bitcoin advocacy initiatives, while Fong will be empowered to, as CEO, to manage overall corporate operations, said Mr. Saylor in this release. Now, to me, it doesn't sound like they're shifting. It's not like he made this shift and stepped down and then they sold all their Bitcoin. So I'm not too worried about a huge dip in Bitcoin from a massive whale like MicroStrategy selling off. That doesn't seem to be what's happening here. The announcement comes as the company announced its second quarter earnings, in which its total revenues dropped by 2.6% compared to a year ago. The company also reported an impairment charge of $918 million on the value of its digital assets, presumably primarily Bitcoin. MicroStrategy may technically be in the business of enterprise software and cloud-based services, but Saylor has said the publicly traded company doubles as the first and only Bitcoin spot exchange traded fund in the US. We're kind of like your non-existent spot ETF, Saylor told CNBC on the sidelines of the Bitcoin 2022 conference in Miami in April. So far, the Securities and Exchange Commission has only approved ETFs that track contracts speculating on the future price of Bitcoin instead of the cryptocurrency itself. The commission has refused to greenlight any of the formal application for a pure play Bitcoin-based ETF, a financial instrument that would give investors the chance to invest in Bitcoin without having to go through the motions of signing up for an exchange, opening a crypto wallet, or dealing with any of the other logistics involved with buying and holding Bitcoin. Quote, if there was a spot ETF, you'd be paying a 1% fee and it wouldn't be leveraged. With MicroStrategy, we have a software company that generates cash flow, so we convert our cash flow into Bitcoin, end quote, said Saylor in April. MicroStrategy has been adding Bitcoin to its corporate balance sheet for the last 2 years. The company has now spent close to $4 billion acquiring Bitcoin at an average price of $30,700. MicroStrategy has used the company debt to purchase Bitcoin, and in March, Saylor decided to take another step towards normalizing Bitcoin-backed finance when he borrowed $205 million using his Bitcoin as collateral to buy more. I won't disconnect from the internet on Twitch all night. And then we do our live show on YouTube and we have quick disconnects. I don't know why. We have $5 billion in collateral. We borrowed $200 million. So I'm not telling people to go out and take a highly leveraged loan. What I am doing, I think, is doing my best to lead the way to normalize the Bitcoin-backed financing industry, said Saylor in April. As people realize they can borrow against something, then they realize they never have to sell it, and then they start to stretch their time horizon from it's a 36-month speculation to it's a 36-year holding. And that's really interesting as far as all of that goes. How do you guys feel about this step down from Michael Saylor and going from CEO to basically going into a position as chairman that focuses completely on the Bitcoin purchasing strategy? I think it could be positive for MicroStrategy in general, probably from the board perspective, board members and their, perception of MicroStrategy. It's probably some sort of internal move if I had to take a bet, but I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.